Hey guys, it's Santi Radio. Okay, so today's topic is being single at 30s and above in Japan. Right? So after you watching this video, you understand that what it's like being 30 years old and above and not married. Okay? It's a tough situation to be honest. And it's ugly side of Japan, but I cannot lie to my subscribers, right? So I have to tell the truth. So let me share you one comment I got, first of all, as usual. It's from Blaze Dacalano. Thank you, Blaze. And he asked me like this: Santi-san, are you married? And I said, no. And he continues, could you also please talk about Japanese men being single at 30s and above? And why do they choose so? Why do they choose so? Interesting. And I say, sure. Thank you, Blaze-san. Okay, so today I want to give you one stats number first of all, and then after that, comparison with the American case and Japanese case, right? After comparison with this, I'm going to share you that what the reality of Japan, okay? And on top of that, the reason why I choose being single, okay? So please enjoy. All right, first of all, the never married adults rate. It's a stats, okay? I might be wrong, by the way. I just searched in Google in 5 minutes, yeah, lately I do search even for my radio, It's radio, but I do search and then I get numbers and prepare. But anyway, so this number could be wrong. So if you have motive, please you could dig and then a more solid number if you want that. But I think it's more like somewhat you get these numbers. Okay, in Japan, never married adults, male, is 23% out of 100. Okay, so one out of 4 person don't get married for life. Female, 14%. Okay, 14%. So 1 out of 5. 1 out of 7 don't get married for life if they're female. And this starts from 2015, year of 2015. All right. What about in the USA? USA is male 23%, female 17%. This number comes from 2012. Okay, so after I compare with these numbers, I think it's almost same, right? But the reality in America and in Japan are, I think, quite different. Well, so let me share that first, okay? My American experience. By the way, my American experience is based on my bachelor degree experience. So it's not really like America 2020. But if you have any idea, Americans, let me know too. But let me share my experience, okay? So when I was in America, we went to club often, yeah? So every Thursday, Friday night, and a Saturday, and then Sunday morning, go to IHOP, and after that, study all day. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, study all day, and Thursday night, party, and like this, So we party a lot, yeah? And we went to clubs. And that time, my fraternity members and then I go to club, and we find sometimes guys mid-30, sometimes over 40 years old guy. It looks old. They're in a club and start talking to our friends, and we are like, oh my god, that freaked me out. It's creepy, Those adults come to club. Come on, man. Level, the club name. Level is for us. What the fuck are you doing? Seriously, get a life. We are talking shit about him. Over 30 years old, come to club. What the fuck, right? We're talking, right? By the way, I'm going to club, often still. Anyway, so back in days, we saw that those adults coming to club, social life, and talking to girls, whatever. I thought they are like known life. However, when I talk to American friends, okay, they think it's okay. I mean, adults have to have own social life. They should have like a lifestyle. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter and they have rights to come too. So there's nothing wrong with that. Yes, indeed, it's gonna freak me out when I talk to our friends, but which is 21 or 19. So, but I think it's okay, So I felt that in America, about age and also marriage status, I think they're more open-minded. They're more equality. They don't have you bias. They don't give you shit looks. They don't give you discrimination, right? Just because you're not married over 30 years old or above. So, and also after watching many dramas, and also after I talking to my business friends, right? then they just share me the idea about how they care about equality, in the workplace. So they don't judge people by marriage status or age, and of course race too. That's how I felt. Okay, and I think still going on in America, 2020. On the other hand, okay, similar number, but on the other hand, Japan, a bit different. Again, I don't want to talk shit about my country, but I have to be honest. So, as a man, 30 years old, single, over 30 years old, and single, as far as I see that, this country still have a preset or framed biased, view about these things. The good example is this. 15 years ago, 15 years ago, people call each other like makeinu or urenokori, to each other, who have not married yet, over 30 years old. By the way, that means makeinu means loser dog who lost. It doesn't make sense, but loser and a dog, which means you're a loser, you're a dog, if you are not married over 30 years old. Or urenokori, which is literally means leftover. The apple leftover. You know what I mean? At a market, that kind of leftover. They just tell each other if we have not married yet, over 30 years old, because they have a strong mindset or ideal, the lifestyle that they get married mid-20s, 28, have a child, first child 29, second child 31, and have a house to like a ridiculous amount of loan, $400,000 loan, payments keep going next 35 years till you became 65 years old, work in a big corporation, stock exchange, public IPO kind of corporations, and have a nice car. This kind of this is the ideal lifestyle people used to have. And it definitely came from our rapid growth back in 1980, 1990, those times. Because when they work at that time, they don't really change job. They're working for one company for life. And if they could have a house, if they could have a car, if they could have marriage, child, like that, it is simply seen as successful person. You know what I mean? But now it's been changing. Everything's changed now, like market and the lifestyle, the platformers breaks those like the presets, like a standard, everything, including our values. Seriously, including Facebook, whatever, Google, whatever thing. So many things enable us to do many things, right? And then let us free. To be honest, we don't have to live in a classical way. So we have a new ideal. That's why people start choosing that not married in Japan. That's how I think, okay? But the inequality is still going on in Japanese companies, right? Like for example, that big corporations, okay? Like classic one, like Toyota, Sony, whatever. If you are not married, you don't get promotion easily. I'm not saying it is happening. I never say they are admitting this. However, that tendency is still there. Definitely. Ask any Japanese friends, whoever over 35 years old or 40 years old. Don't ask kids, they don't know. But ask them, is there any tendency that if you're not married, you don't get promoted in the big corporations? Not a startup, okay? Not a young company. Big corporation, classic corporation like Toyota, Mitsubishi, Mitsui, those corporations. Or bank, good example. You know why? Because that's management people from those companies, right? What they think is this. Okay, for example, two candidates to give a promotion, right? Two candidates. One, his name is Tanaka-san. Tanaka-san, 35 years old. He has two kids, and then he has a loan for housing, and also he has a wife. He's pretty much settled down, right? The other candidate is Santi, 35 years old, still single, and he lived by himself, no debt, nothing. And he's very outgoing too, right? He has many things to do on his checklist. So both performing very well, okay, in a business. So which one is a better candidate? If it's classic company, of course, Tanaka-san. Why? Because he cannot run away from the work. You know, when you get promoted, yeah, your responsibility gets higher. Of course, your payment get raised too, but your responsibility is higher. Expectation is definitely higher. More pressure, more stress is common things, right? When people spot in a spot, that's pressure spot, right? You have to keep standing and then managing that situation and to get the results. That's what they expected as a manager, as a vice president, whatever. But if, like Santi, if you have a choice that, you know what, fuck this job, I don't care, I got a new job, other place. Because I don't care next 3 months if I don't have any income, still I can survive, whatever. It's alright if he that kind of flexibility or freedom if he has. I don't have debt for what, housing, I don't have a family to take care of. All I have to take care of my dog and myself. If that's the kind of guy, do you think he stands stronger? Maybe not. But about Tanaka-san, he has to work. He has a family to support. He has a kids to raise. You know, he has the debt to pay back every month. You know what I mean? Therefore, he has to commit. That's why higher possibility than Santi. That's the mentalities of Japanese classic companies. I'm not decisively saying that, but there is tendency for sure. So I strongly recommend you to ask your any Japanese friends or any colleagues, you know, do they have this kind of mindset in classic Japanese companies? They definitely say yes, they have. Therefore, if you work in a big corporation, you might face that kind of discrimination or inequality at the workplace. Okay. But to be honest with you, you know, I was living in UAE. I was in America, I was living in Mexico, Australia, and Ireland. I don't know. I was living as a minority. In Ireland, people threw stone at me many times, tell me fuck you for no reasons. Seriously, after I got that kind of discrimination in Japan is like a baby, man, seriously. It's nothing for me. But who have not exposed themselves overseas, not experienced like that, maybe they take it very strongly, seriously. And it is serious because of the, you know, performance-wise. And in this case, by the way, Tanaka-san, Santi, same performance, right? But sometimes because of that marriage or age reasons, Tanaka-san, who have a lower performance than Santi, could promote faster than Santi. Could happen too. At least I heard that before. So you might find a very, you know, unfair situation in here as well. But for me, it's nothing. Yeah, if you don't like that, just fuck the job, seriously. Why don't you work out by yourself? It's a priority, you know? You see, I mean, okay, that's my mindset, okay? Alright, so let's lead to the reason why. Since Blaze asked me why I choose to be over 3 years old and being single. Well, as you can see that some people of this, you know, ratio, some people choose to be single, but some people cannot get married. There's no choice for them, you know. Well, the reason why that I personally think that these numbers are correlated with the income poverty rate, okay? Because of this country is now fucking government, you know, the stagnation in economic wise, okay? GDP growth, nothing, right? Yeah, there are some, but compared to China, America, almost nothing, right? 20-30 years stagnation, right? So what happens? People get poor and poorer. Deflation. I talk about this many times in this channel, right? Therefore, they cannot afford family. Come on, man. Get married is costly. Wedding plan in Japan easily 20k, 30k just for one day. Can you imagine that? Just for one day. 20-30k. If you give me that much money, I want to do an investment on stock market and make more money. But for this one day to make a memory. And also, if you have raised kids, people say that to raise one kid up to university, it costs easily $100,000 or more per kid. So if you have 3 children, yeah, 300k, a lot of money, yeah. And also housing. If you are just solo, like me, my dog, this tiny house is fine. You know, rent is not that big. But if you have family, you have to live in a far bigger place, right? And you need more rooms. On top of that, many costs piled up, right? So getting married is not obligation, but it is definitely choice for but you can make, you know. So it's like this: you have a dog, and then do whatever you want to, or you just get the family experience in your life. So if you choose so, you have family, you know. But if you can't choose so because of the money problem, you just remain single. Yeah. So people in this 23%, 14%, some choose to be single, some they have to be stay single. And also there are some people that, percentage, a small percentage, some cannot communicate well with other genders, some characteristic problem. I don't know. There are many problems too in human beings. So I don't know the ratio, but there are some people that. But the majority of them, they cannot get married because of the financial background. That's how I see it. Okay, so there's not much reason. Money. And on top of that, in this country, they don't teach about money, how to make money, save money in the school. Therefore, they're not really keen about this. One day I want to talk about this, yeah. The education about money in Japan. Very bad. Anyway, so that's it. What do you think, Blaze-san? Good? Okay. Well, if you like it, please share to your friends, okay? And also, subscribe, alright? Then, see you then. Bye.